Tell you something kinda real, so listen. I'm sick and tired of trying to sing how I'm feeling, and I miss feeling like I am alive when I'm singing. The last few times that I sang, I was drinking, and honestly I couldn't tell the floor from the ceiling. Nightmare that I had was realized I was doing what I love, but I didn't feel alive. I just wanna be a good man, but I fucked
How are we going to kickstart our meeting? We are going to have 3 delegates address us, and then we'll have a tea break, and then we'll have another 4 delegates, then we'll have lunch, then we'll have our keynote address, and after that we'll have a Q&A session. Is everybody happy? The delegates have been restricted to 15 minutes to speak, and our keynote speaker has an hour. People joke a lot with time, but time is precious. The average human has about 2.2 billion seconds to live, which is 67 years. I've recently learned that it's now 72 years, but we'll work with 67. So, with that said, 15 minutes is 900 seconds. Do we commit to 900 seconds? 100%. Without any further ado, I'd like to call upon our first delegate by the name of Milton.
So, first of all, we have like presidential pens. I think we have a problem with the president. I think if we can use these pens, it will be a good president. I think it is so. I have this other that we can show people what we offer. Yeah. So, and stuff. Also, name badges and stickers and golf balls.
I feel like a lion. I'm so strong. Bring me the legacy. I'm so fun. Energy is going inside my mind. Hey, see, I'm so fun. Come on, let me breathe. Come on, let me breathe. Yeah, come on, let me breathe. Let me breathe. I know we'll let it show. Come on, let me breathe. Let me breathe.
Your resources, and how do we evenly budget out your resources to give you the end product? Obviously, I look at us reaching out a higher target, a bigger target, which is more people onto your platform, more people. I look at it as branding. Branding is when we see a color or when we see something that we've seen before, we identify it to something. And that's what I'm here to do in IT, to make your vision possible, that everybody can be able to see your vision. And that is my portfolio.
2 questions. The first one is, or it's a comment, someone was saying it's not necessary to have a website, because they asked me a question saying, how many websites have you been to in the last 10 days? Because you spend all your time, so I'm going to ask you if you agree. The person was saying, you spend all your time on other platforms, whether you call it LinkedIn Professional or Facebook or Insta. And he was saying if he was to book me, for example, he's not going to look at some rehearsed and decorated website on who I am. What I'm doing daily, what gets my heart ticking and whatnot, that's the person he's buying into. And he looks into that. So he was essentially saying the website vibe is useless. But I also explained to him that from a corporate feel, does it not look more professional? And he was saying it depends on what you are thinking, but the action is on social media. And with that said, I understand in Silicon Valley, if you want to even have a meeting, it's about numbers. A minimum of 100,000 on, depending on which part of the state you're from.
Yes.
They're looking at that portion of influence. And in the past, I don't know how we're doing now, but you found that people would now have fake followers, fake numbers, just to get a foot at the door. So where do we draw the line with a brand? Is it a brand because it's big, or is it a brand because it's great? Because now we're just looking at numbers. If you say hello on LinkedIn and there's 1,000 likes, and Bill Gates says, wow, I'm going to work with you. Has branding become your following, or what you bringing to the table?
What branding has become, it's a lifestyle. It's a culture.
Okay.
If a simple example is, I understand on the website, you must understand that most companies have websites, but in a search engine, when do you ever go to the third page of a search engine when you're looking for something? It's always the first 3 links of your first page. And then you already found what you're looking for. If you're maybe designing a party, a costume party, it's always in the search engine, your first 3 links that you would go to.
Yeah.
Rarely would you go to the second page. So what happens to the companies that are on the 3rd page, 4th page, 6th page, even the 10th page?
She is aligning me to be one of the first LGBTI person to speak at the African Union, to lead the African continent. So doing so, by my 5-year plan with working with her, is also once she leads me up to the African Union, I then lead from the African continent on LGBTI towards the United Nations. Again, that is my story in a nutshell. Please, if you're willing to ask or engage with me, I would appreciate it.
I really believe music makes and changes the way we view things. It changes our emotions. I mean, with music we get healing, but it's one of the things that we actually think we can live without, but trust me, we can't live without music. Have you ever tried watching a movie without music? Yeah, so anyways, so I'll get a t-shirt.
No, the message.
Yeah, you know. So yes, my name is Manda, like I said, and I'm a music producer. I have a studio. I've worked with a couple of people before. One of my biggest achievements was the guy who just passed on yesterday, 2 days ago, Tami Shobede. I produced half of the album, and that's how I got into working with idols as well. There's quite a lot of musicians that are stressed, and I mean depression. Most of the musicians that are dying, that are going through stuff, they're going through depression, and the depression is coming from one thing only: radio stations. Radio stations don't want to play music if you don't have money, and radio stations would rather play a certain particular musician because they have money, and it doesn't matter how long they play that particular artist. Remember, every time radio stations plays your music or play your music video, you get paid. So they're all guys that we see jumping around with beautiful cars and all that. It's mainly because people have a way of getting into radio stations. And I mean, I had a talk with a couple of guys and who are also doing the same. And they were saying to me, you know what, you think you're gonna stop payola. Payola, no one can stop payola. Payola, they tell you that payola started 1920, you know, in America. People used to buy prostitutes for the DJs or buy them booze so that they play an artist and make a hit. So I was coming with my wife right now, and we were listening to one song, and she was saying, oh, this song is so big because this particular artist, this particular artist is under this guy. You know, and I was saying, you know, there's nothing called hits as much as people think there's hits in life. A hit, everybody, if you write a song now, you believe it. You believe in your whole heart that this song is the biggest song ever. but you're not the one who makes that song big. The guy playing in the radio station, there are songs that you listen to and you feel like, this is nonsense, literal nonsense, but because they found their way, they will feed us. So radio station, at the moment, I can't tell radio station that I want to listen to this. If I can tell you the honest truth, radio stations receives millions and millions of songs a day, but they will narrow it down to 5 artists. And they will play that 5 artists from morning. If you listen to one radio station, you can do it for yourself. And you will write it down, you will see that they played this artist in the morning, and then the second slot, how? So they play this same artist. That's, by the time it's night, that person has made a lot of money in just one radio station. So that's why we have this big frustration within the music industry, where you see one particular artist prospering, and it doesn't mean they are talented.
You mentioned where there's a problem, there's a solution. And when there's a solution and problem, is an opportunity. So what is an opportunity of creating education about music value chain? To see how
About music?
the value chain when it comes to the music industry. Because our artist believes about being on the platform is where you deliver, but there's a lot of ways to do that. Because speaking, I hear you, there's a potential for him to guide us to say, let's start our own internet radio station owned by musicians. What's stopping that?
Me, I'm just one of the guys that you call a hustler. For the least times. I don't have a specific thing that I do. I'm not formalized. I only started trying to formalize what I do now. So this is my first business or formal gathering that I come to and try to grasp what people do, try to grasp how do they start their businesses, how do they build from the ground up. Initially, when I finished my school, my high school, I did sports. I was a sportsman. Don't be confused. Yeah. So I followed the career of sports, and I was basically focused on gymnastics, basically. So as I was studying my sports, I was like obviously exposed to other sports like your hockey and your rugby and all those stuff. So I made a little bit of money out of that. But then I realized, this is not my life. Then I went and moved and said, I'm just going to become a masseuse. I did my masseuse course and whatever. And I realized I don't like touching people. Then I left it. That's when now I started playing with doing camps, kids camps, winter camps, sports camps and everything. I loved it. But it was not bringing enough funds for me to survive. At this point in time, the reason of why I'm here, I'm still trying to figure out how to structure my business. I'm a doer. I make things happen. It doesn't matter what field you are in. Are you in psychology? Are you in food, beverages, or whatever? I make things happen. So I'm here to learn from you, each and every one of you guys, to see and learn how you started, where you are, and everything like that. Who knows? I might know. You might steer me to the right direction and find my niche.
I graduated in 1996 with my first degree, which was a Bachelor of Commerce in Information System. I see a lot of familiar faces here that I do know. Some I've worked with before. I know the hustler as well. We used to stay in the same house at some point. Yeah, so I've known him for quite some time. We just happen to be sharing parents as well. So basically, I've been an entrepreneur very early on. I started off, one of the things that I did as an entrepreneur, it was in 2006 where I said I want to be an entrepreneur. As part of that, I said, okay, which was mentioned earlier, you can't leave your job and say tomorrow I'm an entrepreneur and show up as an entrepreneur. I changed my perspective of how I see my job. I took my job and I said, give me my job spec here's my business. At that time, I was a system architect for F&B home loans. And I said, I'm gonna treat my job as my business. I was hunting for work as in my job. I'll go out into business and ask them what the requirements was. So that was understanding what they have, what they need me. I was earning my keep. And my output was to say, as I develop products and I release them to home loans, and things are changing, that was what I was saying. So I was developing the mental model of an entrepreneur while I was still working. The next thing I did, I actually started this network marketing things. You know what?
To network.
They'll teach you how to handle rejection.
Oh,
Yes,
That's nice.
actually. Because even now, when someone says I want to do business, help me out. I say, join the network marketing thing. Let's see how you do. Then you see their thinking where they are. Because then you see, are you willing to go out there and speak to people and they say no to your product? Are you willing to understand your product? That's why I test a lot of guys who are mentored to say, go out there and see if you can sell. Because those things teach you discipline, dedication, knowing your market, a lot of things. I tried a couple of them just to understand what's going on. So I was self-developing while I was still working. What I did next, I said 80-20. 80% of my income must not come from, 80% from my job, 20% from what I do outside. So that thing was giving me confidence to say I can go out there and earn revenue. So that was what I was, this is just my history, by the way. So I started Heart of Mercy. Heart of Mercy was quite interesting. I have a cousin of mine, he says, we have a problem in the country, people are dying, people cannot afford, let's start a funeral parlor. So, okay, let's go, I'll do the business side, you do the operational side. We started, we got a place, compliant, everything. And he said, okay, fine, let's now go and get to a mutual. I said, you go. I can't do this, I can't do. And then it was quite an interesting thing because we got to understand the financial industry very well. We understand, when I talk about stock fails and all those things, how they work, how when you join them and they cover you, how the momentums at that time are coming to our people, buying, selling them packages and all of that, and how they claim and all of that. So it was quite an interesting one. I learned a lot from there. Then I started another one called Scope Consulting. It was an IT company where we're now consulting to MTNs, to a different clienteles. A lot of work with the banks I was doing via Scope Consulting. We lost track of our vision because we got so excited. We wanted to now build our BP houses. And it was an area we did not understand very well and we didn't do very well there. I started Moment Construction. This one was just a way of giving back. I put together a couple of engineers that I knew in the family, young guys who just qualified, helped them, and we started buying equipment to build, go into construction using their expertise. And I was bringing in my skills. I had to sit and say, before I had Scope Consulting, and I was struggling when I go to web platforms. You know, I had to come up with a things more that was easier to pronounce, easier to remember. And it has no any particular meaning. I know in our black communities, so sometimes Toyota, what does Toyota mean? It's a brand. We don't even know, we don't even pronounce it the correct way, by the way. Huawei, we're not even pronouncing the right way. But they built a brand. So pick a name that you can use, they can stand out, color coordination. These colors, by the way, is a color psychology. They go together. But the nature of my business, blue solidness, green is about calmness. So you have to think about these things, about your business. So, and they also, at the same time, they're able to pop out. You must look at the banks to see how they are branding themselves. Then the second part I did was to say customer segments. I'll go to the slide. I've just spoken about value propositions. This is what I spoke about. On this particular slide, I spoke about one thing, problems. I love problems. Sure. I love problems. Why should an entrepreneur love problems?
Solutions to opportunity.
Problems gives you opportunity to make money. Simple as that. If there's no problem, there's no opportunity to make money. Your solutions doesn't help anyone. If there's no need to move from point A to point B, or to transition your thinking from one area to another area, there's no need for coaching. Because people are struggling with, say, how do I grow to the next level? How do I transition? How do I think differently? So problems help to actually give you opportunity to make money. So you need to be able to identify what is exactly the problem. Something that we think are problems are not problems.
I've worked with motivational speakers before. I've worked with a lot of people. But then something say, call him. I called him. Like, oh, energy, good energy. That's done. And then I know Katleo. I call him Mr. Graphics now. I know Lefa. Design. I'm a designer, but he's a designer. I trust him. And Pootie, she's a designer. Trust him. Taking pictures, I can take pictures, but I know somebody who does it better. Designing, I know somebody who does it better. Marketing, I know people who can do it better. But for me, I said, I need to start. I can't do it by myself, but I need to start. What I had is I had not capital per se, I had an idea and I had capacity. What was my only advantage? My advantage was you have an idea and you have a cell phone and you have numbers that you can dial. Do it. Let us just do it. Next week I have a CSR project that I'm doing. The reason why I have more fire here is because I believe as black companies, we just promote each other. Like, that's what companies do. But we have that fear. If I support this guy, I have to get an invoice. That's a problem. So for me, I just support any black company. I have a CSI project that I'm going to be doing. Going to street corners, the guys who are selling there. There are some guys who sell, actually there's one guy that I noticed, he sells nargis. Kept on selling the same thing over and over and over and over. For the past year, I've been checking out this guy, I call him Pagania because he's a Paris friend. So Pagania sells nargis. And I told Pagania, like, try something new. I kept on giving him cash. Gave him like $100, gave me 150, week in, week out, just to show him that you got my support. It's not about money, it's about me believing in you. Sometimes there are instances where he would say, okay, anything. People are expecting $10, you give him $200. It's not about the money, it's about the value and the trust, that the vision that you have, that he might go a bit further. So a few weeks back, then there was a change in him. He was cleaner, and then now he had eyes covers. And then he came to me and said, right, I'm trying out this. I'm giving the nargis a rest. Like since last year he's been selling nargis. Now he's trying eyes covers. I said, you know what? I'm gonna push you a step further. Next week, I'm going to give you a t-shirt and I'm going to give you more fire to sell. Just try something new. And then some people are saying it's a risk, don't give a guy like, but I'm saying, even if he runs out, he doesn't make profit and then he charges the money. I'm at a point whereby in my life, the next week, I can give him another 6-pack. Month end, I can buy him another 6-pack. Just to show him, I'm not going to give you money now. I'm going to give you a product that's going to make you money. And then I'm going to do that for over a period of time and see where his mind is at. We, in South Africa, we're not comfortable around robots, street corners, the vendors. They are known for smash and grabs. I want to pull down my windows, bump up my sound, relax, trust the people at the robots. Thank you very much. If some of you want to stay and enjoy the place, you're welcome. And then if you wanna go home, you're welcome. But thank you very much. October 5, there's another one. Come and support. The ticket there is 2.5. So it's not about the price tag. It's more about starting a movement and entering the market, because that market it's known to white people. They don't mind charging 7.5 for a ticket. So when you enter that market, you just enter it aggressively. Whatever happens, happens. If we don't get people, we are investing into the idea. It's not a failure, it's a lesson learned. And then it doesn't mean we stop there. We go on to the next one. So either you come or you push on social media, everything. I need your support.
Just to wrap up for what's happened today, ownership. We do not need to be great to get started, but we do need to get started to be great. Collaboration is upon us. Let us hold each other to account, even individually. Self-efficacy goes a long way. There's an African proverb which says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. What we've started here is very beautiful. Even if you might not see it, believe it or not, the impact is there. Let us not strive to be different, but to be the difference. It's been super califragilisticexpialidocious to be your MC. Thank you so much. Be safe and have a good weekend. Thank you.
Wa camera in famara mama kana. Ena. Go. Hey, fala rama.
I wanna be the dad. I wanna be the dad. Make it right now, be the dad. J'ai rien à faire dans le rouge, j'ai tout à faire dans le rouge. Je suis comme un naufragé.